It's over. Call of Duty Vanguard Zombies is over. And saying those words, it brings a lot of catharsis, I can't lie. I really just wanted to talk about the whole Vanguard Zombies thing, you know, this whole era that we have gone through, because this is the end of an era now, quite literally. And although it's only been about a year, it feels like this has dragged and took its time, and has been a very slow burn for everyone who's been following this. It's been bad for the players, both veterans and casuals alike, and I've got to be honest, it's been bad for the content creators as well. And ever since launch, I have felt this so hard. With next to no content other than Shinonuma Reborn, I would say that had enough content. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't this epic marvel of a map, it was just a pretty good time. But that was Vanguard at its absolute best with the zombies, and that really worries me. But luckily, we have gone through Vanguard and we've seen the absolute peak of the game and the absolute crippling rock bottom that was, in my opinion, Terra Maledicta and Duranfang. The point I'm trying to get at here is that it's been a huge shockwave that we have all felt. It doesn't matter what you do with zombies, how much you play it, how many hours you stream it, or how many videos you do about it. Even if you're casual enough to the point where you literally hop on it whenever a new map comes out with some of the boys and then you just don't play it again, maybe you have about 1 or 2 tries on the new map, I think collectively everyone is gonna agree that it has really sucked. And with the final map that came out, the Archon, I'm very sad to report that my predictions for this were kinda right. I just felt like going into it, we were gonna have a pretty mid experience, and especially this Easter egg with the boss fight that Treyarch were really hyping up, and I think they were overdoing it a bit. They were saying it was gonna be a larger than life thing, like it was this grand crown jewel, and I don't think they did a good job talking about the boss fight. It felt very overhyped and oversold. In my video before the map came out and I was reading the blog, I'll put the full video in an iCard if you want to watch it, I said this: the scale of this boss fight looks incredible, but the problem I have with this boss fight is I feel like it's going to be one of those where he's just going to stay stationary and you'll have to like shoot weak spots on him, just wait for him to get tired or something. And although it looks grand, I feel like it's going to end up playing out to be really generic. Now that statement has aged like fine wine. The boss fight ended up being exactly what I said it would be: run around, dodge things, shoot weak points whilst boss is stationary. Now granted, there was the part where you threw the crystals at the obelisks to like weaken the boss, but it wasn't a larger than life boss fight. It wasn't this grand conclusion. It was just another generic boss fight in a game. And especially that ending, I mean, what was that? I don't really know what else to say about it because there was actually nothing there. It was just Cortex gets game ended and then falls into a hole. Like, that is literally what happens. There's this like hole in the floor in the dark ether and he falls in it, and there was no dialogue, there was no anything, there was no substance to that ending at all, and it was just kind of terrible, to be honest. We didn't even get a slideshow at the end like we did in Shinonuma Reborn, which in comparison to this, it makes Shinonuma's ending look like some big blockbuster that was released, and it completely shook the cinematic scope as we know it. So although the ending to Shinonuma did suck, this ending that we got in the Archon is baffling to me. And the thing that makes it even more confusing is it's not an ending. It's not like a, oh well, now you can sit in the consequences of your actions in that kind of silence where it's meant to be impactful. It literally, it's like it completely cut off. I wouldn't be surprised if someone thought it was some sort of glitch, and so they redid the whole Easter egg to try and see if a cutscene would load. Because now that Cortex gets game ended and falls down his hole, there is no dialogue at all, no connective thread to be able to weave together this prequel that is Vanguard and then Cold War, which is what Vanguard is a prequel to. I don't understand anything that has been relevant to Cold War. From what I've experienced, it's felt like nothing has been brought together, nothing has came full circle, or pretty much anything that a prequel is supposed to do. So now we finished Vanguard not even actually knowing how it connects to Cold War, despite Vanguard being a prequel to Cold War. I could go around in circles about that all day, it just doesn't make sense. And to know we don't have zombies coming for potentially 2 years until 2024, that ending to not only Vanguard itself, but also Treyarch Zombies for a while, it was bad. And then the rest of the Easter egg quest just, it felt so tedious to do, and I don't know why. Maybe that's just a me problem, maybe the Easter egg by design is good, but it just felt very choppy to me. I don't know how to describe it. I guess it is time to address this part now as well, which I am fully aware of and I've I've been mentioning this throughout Vanguard's life cycle, or whatever life was in the game to begin with, and what I'm getting at here is the development. I am fully aware that the development was completely, not even just stunted, it was crippled. A lot of the team, the very small team at Treyarch, clearly were not given the right amount of resources, time, or anything from Activision, because it is Activision that want to get this pushed out as soon as possible. They don't care about the product, and it's been made very apparent. Treyarch have given us some absolute gems of zombies modes when it comes to the amount of love and passion that they pour into that. I know this is an obvious example, but it's used a lot for a reason. Black Ops 3, look at how much love, support, and care that game got. It was so fun to play. The devs behind that project, to me, seemed extremely passionate, and that's going outside of just how the game was. It's the way they would talk about the game, like all the interviews that they had with the bigger YouTubers, talking about the next maps, answering questions, and updating people on the story and things, and giving little hints here and there. It was really fun. They were that open about their development that there was even in-studio interviews, and that kind of thing was just such a magic touch that helped the whole community of zombies. So whenever I hear people say Treyarch never cared from the start, you know, they never cared about zombies that much anyway, I think that's a lie. They didn't even need to make Zombies Chronicles, for example, and the way Jason Blundell described it, he said that it was a love letter to the community and to zombies. And so when there's this sudden shift in how it's been since like post, I would say BO4, I'm not saying that the love isn't there, I'm saying that there's not enough people who are being supported in the ways they need to, development wise that is, to be able to produce good stuff. And that's not even tinfoil hat stuff. I mean, you've seen all the controversy around Activision for a start, and I really don't think it's reaching too far to assume this kind of thing when the past few Call of Duties have been in shambles. So I think Activision especially, and maybe Treyarch a little bit, I don't really know Treyarch's exact process and how in control they are. I just know that Activision is the one that says, okay, this has got to be released by this time, get it done. But any kind of creative decisions that Treyarch made that were outside of Activision's influence, I don't really think landed, and so I guess there's some blame to be passed on there. But mainly, it is Activision, and it's very clear. Warzone came into Call of Duty, and it has completely changed things. And although I enjoyed Warzone at first when it came out, I think this gradual decay in the rest of Call of Duty, campaign, multiplayer, zombies, because Warzone is getting all the dev time and attention, because that is the biggest cash cow that can be milked by Activision, I think it has changed Call of Duty for the worse. And if anyone's got hit the hardest by this lack of development compared to other years in Call of Duty, it's been zombies, because Vanguard has been a shining example of that. I think Treyarch in 2024 are gonna need the extra year, assuming there is a gap year in the CODs, to make their zombies mode something special. At this point, I would even be happy with something like Cold War onwards, because Cold War, as time has passed, my love for it has grown stronger. And Vanguard could have been like Cold War Zombies, but it seemed to just take everything that Cold War did well and just not implement it, and it's very confusing as to why. From what I remember, Cold War Zombies was pretty well received actually, and so I would be down for something like Cold War again. Now, in an ideal world, it would be reject humanity, return to BO3, but obviously I know that that's not gonna happen. But with Vanguard dishing out these constant gut punches, does that mean that Zombies is doomed? Is Zombies ever gonna bounce back from any of this? Yeah, I think it will, but as to when that's gonna be, that one gets a little trickier to try and answer. I am disappointed that the Archon was literally just Green Terra Maledicta with rounds, and then a mid, maybe slightly above average boss fight. Treyarch said that there's gonna be side Easter eggs, like in Shinonuma, in the Archon, but I don't know where they are. The only ones I know of are getting the shield, you know, the Decimator wonder weapon, but that's part of the main quest anyway, and then there's like this music Easter egg, but that's kinda standard procedure with any map, so where are they? With the Archon being as mid as it was, it really concluded Vanguard Zombies in quite a negative way, and the reputation that this game has now is nowhere near good. I actually did the Easter egg before I made this video because I wanted to give it a fair chance, because this is what Treyarch said was the crown jewel for the map, and I was just so disappointed. Although, the second I finished the boss fight, and Cortifex did his weird Gmod ragdoll into the pit, and there was that silence, for me, that silence was filled with relief, because I knew I didn't have to play the game again. And when you come out of an experience like that, maybe unless it's like a horror game or something, that's not good. Especially a game mode that prides itself on its replayability. During the launch day of the Archon. After my first few matches on the map, do you know what I did? I closed down Vanguard, opened up Cold War, and played zombies on that with one of my friends. And me doing that says a lot, because the Archon just wasn't it. It didn't feel like there was enough there. And granted, there was the Easter egg, and it did give me something to do, but like I've mentioned, Treyarch overhyped it and oversold it so much that when I was doing it, the disappointment rolled in very quickly. And I wasn't even on a hype train. I knew it wasn't gonna deliver, and yet I still felt underwhelmed. I think the next 2 years until Treyarch come out with something zombies related, unless the leaks are true about the 2023 standalone zombies thing, those 2 years we're gonna have to be waiting for another COD that has zombies in it by Treyarch. It's gonna be rough, and 2 years, it might not seem like that long to some people, but in my eyes, 2 years is a long time to be waiting for something. So I hope that Cold War gets some sort of like content. Maybe they can release those outbreak maps, just something. And I expect custom maps to really be carrying these 2 years as well. And maybe like legacy zombies content. I mean, I know I've got some stuff in the works, but whilst all of this is going on, whilst people are playing zombies, I just don't want in the back of everyone's mind and my mind to be thinking about how disappointing zombies has gotten. I don't want people to say, wow, you remember zombies? That Vanguard game really killed it. Because I feel like zombies can come back. I still have that little glimmer of hope because I didn't fall in love with it for no reason. And if Treyarch can maybe recapture that love and that magic touch that they once had with zombies, like I said, even Cold War did a good job in my opinion. But if we got anything close to what it was like in Black Ops 3, and if Activision actually allowed them the time and the budget to be able to do this stuff, then I think we'd get a fire zombies experience. I'm relieved it's not just me that has this opinion, it's pretty much everyone else, because that indicates that there's clearly a problem, and we've been saying it since the launch of Vanguard, and I can only hope that this year gap, if there is one, is going to allow Treyarch to do the right thing for everyone. This video has been very rambly, and I don't really think I got my points across as clearly as I could have. Maybe I'd do a kind of dissection, an autopsy if you will, about all of Vanguard Zombies from start to finish, kind of like a timeline of tragic events unfolding. Let me know if you'd want to see something like that, I'd be happy to do it. So I'm sure you have one question now, and it's one that I've asked myself since the Archon came and drew the curtains, marking the end of this strange fever dream. What did it all mean? That whole terrible experience, what was all of that for? And my own personal answer to that is, I think that this has been a learning experience. Treyarch and Activision should now hopefully understand what needs to be done now to be able to prevent this kind of thing. This hasn't just been a few people not liking it, this has been everybody completely dissatisfied with the product they've paid money for. So now hopefully that magic touch that Treyarch once had could be recaptured and twisted and changed to make something good of zombies in 2024. And hopefully Activision are going to give Treyarch the time and the resources. The good news is this is the worst that is now over. The bad news is it actually got this bad in the first place. With Vanguard being bad and no one wanting to play it, I personally have done some cool stuff in that time where I would have been making Vanguard content. I've been working on big projects for the channel, and I'm really excited to try and get these out whenever I feel like they're ready. If Vanguard was this amazing perfect COD, I probably wouldn't have actually have started these projects and been working on them as much. Nor would I have gone out and done IRL stuff, as sad as that sounds. My point is, I think this all meant that we have been able to do other things that have probably been beneficial for us because we've all took that step back. So I think that we've got something positive out of this, and that is exactly what I'm trying to focus on. To clarify, I'm not saying that content for Vanguard would have been bad, I'm saying that the gaps in between the content, or lack thereof, has allowed people to be able to just do other things. I think we got thicker skin from this experience, and assuming the next COD Zombies is good, then that'll mean that it's good to voice our opinions in a respectful manner of course, but voice them nonetheless. Vanguard Zombies was something else. I'd say that there's been ups and downs, but we've had constant downs and about one up, which was Shi no Numa Reborn. This video has been a long one, so I'm gonna leave it there. But everyone, we made it. Zombies hopefully can recover from this. I've got a feeling it can, and I hope that you feel the same way too. Zombies does tend to land on its feet after stuff like this, so let's try and spread some hope and positivity here. But anyways, I'm gonna leave this video here today. If you enjoyed and you're just relieved that Vanguard Zombies is over now, be sure to smash the like button. Comment your thoughts on all of this down below. I'd love to hear everyone's closing thoughts on Vanguard Zombies as a whole. And subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, you won't regret it. Turn on the notification bell to stay notified whenever I upload a video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. It's been a wild ride, and I will see you next time.